So back in the olden days, this is how we used to do our meetings in circles. You know that? Yeah, I told you that already, so you knew that. But we started doing the presentation style stuff when we were at UVU because we didn't have the seating wasn't conducive to this, right? So I'd like to throw in a little bit of, mix it up a bit, Steve. What do you want to do? This is our OWL camera. If you guys are watching this at home, it's awesome. If you talk, it'll just move over towards your direction. So it's pretty rad. Yeah, no, it says, so don't talk.
If you even itch your ear, it will
Yeah, if you
move.
do this, like it'll do it. So everyone go home and watch this on video. It's pretty rad.
Mine be famous?
Huh?
Mine be famous?
You do, absolutely. You're in the middle. Of course you will be, dude. Yeah, all eyes on you, man. But this, really, I wanted to try the stupid camera. That's why we're doing this. I'm like, we bought this and we should try and see what it does. Nonetheless, so we're gonna do things a little bit different. Before we get rocking and rolling, Jed's packing up to go to Disneyland apparently. So
Where's my invite?
I know, man.
Good time.
He didn't even say that to you, did he? He's like,
No,
"I
he
can't
didn't
make it."
tell me.
They're packing the van as we speak. Coach, what the crap, man?
My daughter is there right now, and she said crowds are not bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm gonna tell him you better take her.
Better swing down here and pick your brother up.
I'm gonna text him, you better bring me with you.
So, anybody know what's happening? We got Judy's run, the cake run coming up at the 16th.
Where is it at?
Could be in Springville.
Yeah.
I
You
have
eat
it on
cake.
the calendar.
Right, raising money for Judy Barrett, who's our coach at St. George, who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we're gonna do some fundraising for her. So I think it's the 16th or the 18th.
It's the 17th.
It's right in the middle of both of
for
those.
Judy, Saturday, December 17th.
Okay, and I think it's later in the afternoon.
2
so-
p.m.
Yeah, so it'll be a little bit warmer. Yeah, so that's kind of good. Would you go there in the winter cold months? It hurts your teeth when you run it. It's so cold. That's just me, sensei. Yeah. Beyond that, we are putting on, our Project Elf. We're asking for anyone that wants to donate anything while you're out shopping. If you find something that's an unwrapped toy, bring it, we'll throw it under the tree. So we have our wrapping day that's coming up in a couple weeks. We'll have some extra stuff just in case.
I do have someone donating a bunch of wrapping paper for that, so
Awesome.
we shouldn't have to buy as much.
Awesome. I think we still have some from last year, somewhere.
Is there like a list of what you can buy to donate, or is it just
Do you know?
Me?
That's a Holly question, huh? Yes, there is. Would you like me to message you with the links to?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, I think we're doing about 20 kids so far. That's pretty awesome. Brett, that's Janae. She's the one I was telling you about. That's all good texts.
Oh.
There, that's the person. We talk about you all the time, Janae.
Oh, do you?
You may not realize this, but we talk about you all the time. I think that's kind of it.
We are doing Power Hour Saturday at 10. We're gonna go back to the Lakeside Sports Park.
Okay.
Over in Vineyard, where we used to meet in the winter or the summer.
This summer? Awesome.
It'll be at 10 now, because it'll at least be slightly lower than freezing rather than 20.
Tolerable. Yeah, absolutely. Our year in review will be held in January. I think it's gonna be the second Tuesday in January. I'm gonna confirm that. But that's where we nominate our MVPs and hand out lots of trophies, have a little dinner presentations.
COVID shouldn't kill it this year.
What? No, COVID's not gonna kill it this year. Don't jinx us, for crying out loud. Holy cow. Good grief.
It is, January 23rd is the 8AA end of year
That's it.
party.
The end of
That's-
year, the
that's
end of
January.
January, so brace yourself, that's a fun experience. I think that's it, unless there's anything else from the peanut gallery, we good, is that it? Cycling, not till it gets a little warmer? Awesome.
When
Yeah.
are we gonna get together to help wrap Project Elf?
I keep looking at you, like you should just know everything,
That's, if
Krista.
it's a date, that's what you told me, it's on my calendar, other than that, so.
Yeah, I know it's like I think it's like a week and a half before the big day. You think I'm not in charge of this team, I have no idea. I just get to hang
So
out.
you can't do it all.
I can't do it all. I need you guys. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but it'll happen here. And you guys, that's a great experience. Even if you don't like are good at rapping, please come. It's pretty fun. It's the funnest thing to be able to be here when everyone comes to pick up their stuff and you get to meet the families and you know, just, I don't know, it's a cool thing. So
It's good just to hang out.
it really is. It's fun, isn't it? We had a little bit more room this year. It was a little tight last year, but this year it's gonna be good. So yeah. So today I wanted to just to kind of have a decompression day. I wanted to talk a little bit about just, you know, who each of you are, what makes you tick. And there's a couple of ways we can do this, okay? I highly recommend everyone proceeding over and grabbing one card. I mean, you can grab any stack you want. There's two stacks. There's a 1 stack and a 2 stack. These are all questions that we get to ask one another. So like I'll say, all right, Janice, and I'll read her my question. She has to answer this. And Janice will ask somebody else and so on and so forth, right? That's exactly how it's gonna go down. These ones are kind of casual. These are like, what's your favorite color and why? These ones over here, they're a little bit more like, oh, crap. Yeah, it's even better, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, the end game, that's right. I like this because there's some things that we don't really get to talk about, that we don't really get to know because we're always kind of doing the adage athlete thing. This is a little bit more personal. It's like, what makes you tick? I love this. So everyone go grab a card 1 and a card 2. You can shuffle them up, you can do whatever, and we'll rock this. Look at it, going for the middle stack. I dig that.
Go for it.
Love the pink.
Of course, man. Got to represent the team.
Nightmares. I love it because you can see that from miles away. Like when we did that on our lake-to-lake relay, the coolest thing, you could see them for miles. I think there's someone down there.
It's my year. Hopefully soon. I can do a lot. You want to look at them?
Yeah, you can look at them, absolutely. Yeah.
I've done mountain biking.
You'll get there faster on a road bike. I love it. Yeah, it's so much easier.
Really?
Less resistance.
Oh my gosh.
Justin, you're cyclist.
When I get a bike.
Oh my
We'll get a
gosh.
bike.
I'm
We'll
so
find it
sick
for
right
you.
now.
What do we got to get your bike?
But building that up now, building my network. I'm starting to go through work, relearning how to build network.
I dig it. All right, let me grab that number 2. I hope I get one that makes someone cry.
Crying is.
That one's boring. I'm doing that one. I want one that's gonna make it. Okay.
I read this one and I was like, oh, that's my deep one? Huh, that's kind of interesting. I read the other one and went, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
the
number
not
1.
deep
Awesome. All right, let's start with number 1s. Do you want me to lead out so we can show you how this is done? Yeah, I'm starting with you, Janice. Because we've already, you know,
Oh, I'm answering somebody
We've already
else's
done it, right?
question. I'm all.
Card number 1. What are 3 things you would like to be doing in the next 3 years? And why? Don't just give us one word answers either. Get into the meat and potatoes. 3 doing.
Going back to school.
To do what?
Toward my LCSW.
Brilliant. You're gonna be an
Um,
LCSW,
I know, what's yours?
clinical mental health.
Yeah,
Clinical mental health.
yeah, we have one of those in our office.
one.
She's a she.
Wow.
She's a she.
Yes, we are.
School, running still, hopefully checking off some bucket list races that
I
I've
heard
got.
you might be interested in the Salton Sea.
Yeah, Jen and I touched that.
It's a bugger.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Oh my God.
2024. You ready? Let's go.
What's that?
2024.
Yeah.
2023.
How long is that?
23.
Next year?
23.
No, wait a minute. What
Next
is it?
year or 24?
23 is the next one.
Chance, we can do this in
I
2023.
can do it next year.
Jed doesn't think we're ready. I think we can do it.
How long is that race?
80 miles.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we could probably do it tomorrow. It'd take us a little longer, but we can do it.
Get a car.
Okay, running, school.
Yeah, And this one sounds really silly because my kid's only 21 and not even married yet, but I would love to be a sober grandma.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but it's okay if that's in 5 years.
We won't let her
She's
see
only
this.
21. Yeah,
It wouldn't hurt your feelings.
don't get any ideas. It's good.
You're ready to be a grandma stage, like you're ready to like spoil
Oh,
your grandkid?
hell yeah.
All right.
so
Yeah, oh,
Being a grandparent's awesome.
No, I want to be a grandma so bad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'll accept that as an answer. Now you get to choose number one
Oh.
question for anybody else. You get to choose, we'll ricochet off.
Okay. Clay. If there were 6 more hours in the day, what would you do with them?
You picked her for a specific reason with this question, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't sleep,
Uh-huh.
so I'm constantly going. I would probably sleep. Seriously, I would, yeah.
That was my first answer too. Sleep, mine too.
I would sleep. I don't sleep. I sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours a night, so
So you could do with an extra 6 then.
probably, yeah.
You'd occupy it with something else.
I would. Unfortunately, I'd probably get a second job or a third job.
Nice.
I
Holy
already have
cow.
2, so.
You accept that?
I did.
All
I knew
right.
she was gonna say that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
If you don't know their name, just say, hey, you. Point at them.
Tell me your name.
Me? Noah.
No?
Noah.
Noah. Okay, what would you like to receive on your next birthday?
That's a good one.
Got 13 days.
Oh, it's coming up.
Oh, what I like to receive?
Yes.
Oh. I really don't know. Hold
It's your birthday, man.
16 days.
on. A new tattoo to cover up my hand tattoo.
What is the hat tattoo of? You don't like the alien?
No, I got it and I was like,
That
I got other ones.
that was
Oh, wait, no, I want to get this one covered.
nice. So what is that one? Let me see. So you'd much rather not have a mushroom than an alien head?
Yeah.
Okay. It's your birthday. I'll say go for both of them, man. Double session.
Well, she said one thing.
That would be one thing. Just cover these tattoos, right?
6-hour session.
I never even got that text.
He's like, don't remind me. Yeah, the follies. Absolutely. You accepting that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Anyone here?
I'm not gonna do you guys because you guys probably know. Blue.
Yes.
Come, oh wait. Oh. My favorite kind of music is.
Oh, bloody hell. This is gonna tell a lot about me. That's a number one. That should be number two. Yeah, okay. You guys, I'm kind of eclectic. And I never thought this was possible, but I am turning into a country fan. But only two, Sturgill Simpson and Tyler Childers. Those are
Oh,
the
yeah.
ones.
Tyler.
And your
Yes.
decision. Huh? Tyler?
Yes.
You know, they both came in concert, like, and I found out on my birthday, I found out they were coming in March, no, in June. And I'm like, this is like divine, right? And then the stupid thing called COVID rolled through, screwed that up, didn't get to go. But yeah, I don't know why, maybe it's because I moved to Springville, I don't know, there's deer in my yard. Yeah. I know Max is like, oh, bloody hell, Blue, not that. So yeah, that's mine. All right. So now, let's see. Well, I started, so I should have went last, but let me think. Brad.
We should make up one.
I'm actually really good at these. What is your favorite cartoon character as a kid and why? This tells me a lot about you, by the way. So pick with care.
Who's my favorite cartoon character? For some reason, I always liked, I can't remember the Martian guy's name.
Marvin.
Marvin the Martian, yeah. But close second would be Bugs Bunny.
It's very adult of you. Marvin the Marsh, he's kind of a jerk. Have you noticed that? He's kind of a.
Maybe it's that, maybe like a broken gym, that's
There you go, yeah. Yeah. What's that hairy thing that hangs out with him? What is that? Remember?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
What
about.
is that? What is it? Bonus points if you know this. I'll give you a prize. What's his name?
Do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay, how do you know?
You could have made it up. I don't even know.
It's, I was
Todd?
gonna say Melvin.
Todd.
Too close to
All
Marvin.
right, I'll accept that.
So KP.
Yeah.
How do you act when you want to avoid doing something?
Oh, that's a good one. How do you act when you?
I disappear. If I don't want to do something, I will conveniently not be there.
You're like, "Dude, where's Dad?"
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny. Why?
Why what?
Why do you disappear?
Because then they can't ask you to do it.
They don't come find you?
You're not good at disappearing.
All right. Good to know. You said that. All right.
Find some other project and engulf in
I
that.
do that too. How many people do that? You're like kind of just fade away, like Flanders in the hedge, or Homer in the hedge, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Let's see here. I'll get over to this side here. Earl, oh, I was like, oh yeah. This one's interesting. This is a number 1, by the way. This could be touchy for some people.
Let's go.
How do you think your father would describe you?
That's a number 1.
That's a number 1.
Wait till you see number 2.
Tall.
No one word answer.
Tall and big. No, I mean, you want to tell me to cry or anything? I think at this point in my life, he would say he's proud of me. I mean, he told me not too long ago he was. I've made awful decisions. Obviously, I'm here. It wasn't the best decisions that got me here, but I always found the right path at the end of the day. But I know he was proud of me. But it was funny that going back to the big and tall thing, I got lost at Coors Field at a baseball game once. I think I was 11 or 12. And my parents went and talked to security and they're like, all right, we'll describe him. And they said, he's 12 years old. All right, how tall? 6'1". And they're like, how old is he? And they're like 12. So I was pretty easy to find, I guess. But I think I would honestly say I'm like kind of the polar opposite of him. We both enjoy reading. We both enjoy a lot of the same things, but we always kind of butted heads. We're in competition with stuff. Like he got his, I think it's Life Scout or whatever's prior to Eagle. So I had to get my Eagle Scout, and I always sort of try to one up my dad and stuff. But I definitely say I think proud would be the best way he would describe me at this point. Humble brag. Actually, Justin, talk about a happy school experience.
Oh, geez. I didn't spend much time in school.
Kindergarten, first grade.
I don't really know. I didn't really get any awards or anything in school. Probably the day we went to Lagoon.
Lots of happy times.
All right.
What did you enjoy about it? I mean, was it just not school?
Not school, be with friends, riding rides.
Awesome.
Do you still like?
I do.
At the current prices?
I haven't been there for a couple of years.
They just went up.
$100.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
You accept that?
Yep.
All right. You guys are going easy on people.
All right. Let's do.
Me?
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, describe something you like to do that seems out of the ordinary.
Something I like to do out of the ordinary. I guess sleeping doesn't count. I do like sleep. Something out of the ordinary. I guess not everybody does diamond art. I like doing diamond art.
What's diamond art?
So you have like a big picture, like an 8x10 or bigger, and there's like little tiny gems that you put on one by one to create the big, it's like paint by number, but with little tiny sparkly gems.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, so then I guess it's out of the ordinary. I like doing that.
Cool.
You accept my answer?
I do.
I guess we're not asking why.
Why? Because it fills the time instead of
I hear
thinking
it's-
about other crap that
I hear
I
it's
don't
very
wanna think about.
soothing as well. It's very soothing.
Yeah. To go along with that, I also, and it's been years since I've done this, but I have tons of circle art, which I made up. So I draw a picture completely out of circles and then color each one. So kind of similar thing, but I do it myself.
Maybe it's time to get Addict Artist going again.
That sounds like it.
Holy cow.
So I did that for a long time. I don't know your name.
Tina.
Tina, tell about a time when you were lost.
She's gonna know you guys. Are you serious?
Actually, it was just recently, I had a relapse. I was lost for a while. But I found myself, I found my way back, so.
That's the important thing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm Corbin.
Corbin, share a childhood memory about bedtime.
About bedtime? This one's gonna be interesting. I remember every night before I'd go to bed, my mom would get stuffed animals, and she would like act like she would talk like mimic like the stuffed animal thing. I know you remember this. She would sit there and she'd like tell me stories about the stuffed animal and like make a different voice. It's pretty interesting. It always put me to sleep.
Can you give us an example?
Break out the stuffed animal.
Where they at?
That's funny.
Puppet A, puppet B, go.
Yeah.
I accept your answer.
That's good.
All right. What's your name?
Ken,
All right. Talk about a time when you were locked out of the house.
Oh, everyone's had one of these.
our doors were permanently locked. Our parents just set us free. It was like, come back till after dark. No, I don't.
You never had the joy trying to shimmy through a window. Come on.
You probably
Pop
sat
off
out
the
the window.
Pop off the screen, your dad
I
would
had
have
to
to yell.
shimmy through the front door when it's wide open.
Yeah, I found out how easy it is to kick, to,
No, I mean, I've
not secure doors are.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do for a living is break into windows. So it's not hard, but there's been lots of times where I'm very forgetful, leave my keys everywhere and don't have the keys, so I'll break in a window. Not like break it in, but I know how to get in a window, so I don't.
I think we're friends.
Yeah.
You can pop the screen out without breaking it, can't
I
you?
don't know where I live.
Commercial buildings are the easiest shit. If anybody wants theirs, mine are.
Yes, they are.
Sliding doors, piece of cake. Screwdriver.
I can't think of a specific incident, but.
Fair enough.
You're gonna happen tonight. I guarantee you, you're not getting in tonight.
Probably so.
Well, then there's
I've locked myself out of the car plenty of
Yeah.
times. We were hiking up by, Slate Canyon up there and we got done with the hike and luckily Holly was with me and her grandparents lived right down the road and they had one of those, I don't know why Holly's grandpa has a Slim Jim. Yeah, no, we were able to get in, so there was that, but I've done that a lot of times, so. Oof.
I accept.
Okay, good. You got it, Steve?
I'm not.
Okay, this is share a scary dream that you had.
Number one.
I think that's a, yeah.
Wow.
Here, you guys have nightmares. Still, as adults, yeah? Those are interesting as adults, aren't they?
I mean, scary dream or scary reality?
It says dream, so.
Well, just the adult dreams is losing my kids. That's my reality. Lost my family. So not, I don't think I've ever dreamt that. I just live it.
You guys ever had a dream where you've lost someone and then when you see them the next day, you're like overly happy? You're like, oh my gosh, like, what's wrong with you? Ooh, that's a rough one. That's a rough one.
I had a reoccurring dream as a child that all looked like there was this giant water slide in the middle of nowhere and we'd all go down, but like I was last. But at the bottom there were sharks. And like my whole family like went down and they were getting my sharks. I was like, no.
You and I need to schedule a therapy
It
appointment.
was bad. It was very bad. No, I mean, I haven't had it as an adult, but as a, like, yeah, it was scary. It wasn't my turn, sorry, but I just.
Because Janae's like me, I sometimes have these, because I mean, when you're a counselor, guys, you bring a lot of this stuff with you, and everyone's stories start to blend, and you're like, ooh, how do you cope with them? Are you aware enough now to be like, wait a second, I know this is.
Sometimes I am, but sometimes I still will wake myself up screaming.
Yeah.
And I just go out and smudge and pray.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, Janae. I gotta learn to do that.
What does smudge mean?
The smudge or the pray?
Smudge is the natives' way of praying. So we light some sage, or if it's in the morning, sweetgrass, and we let the white smoke ground us and purify us.
It's awesome. We all accept your answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll just stick with Janae. Just keep you talking.
Oh,
If you could spend one whole day with your best friend, what would you like to do?
I already do it. I go on road trips a lot with my friends.
There's so much fun.
I just will plan a road trip and I'll take somebody with me. Just for fun.
Perfect.
Then like Noah, what's on the radio then?
I have a playlist for everything. I have no country. There's no country
What?
out in my truck.
You haven't heard Tyler yet.
No.
Wow.
No.
Busted.
No. Like one or two songs.
More like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
That's about as far as it
That's
goes.
awesome. That's cool.
They are good road trips, though.
Awesome. Your turn.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one that hasn't gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your name?
Maisie?
Maisie? Yeah. Describe the greatest dessert in the world.
That's a good question. Better than sex cake.
Yeah, that's.
It's not. It's a misnamed cake. Josh will tell ask him about it.
I'm recording with Josh tonight. I'll ask him.
Yeah, it's got like
I'm gonna have some of
chocolate
that.
and, like,
Or if you're around kids, it's called better than life cake.
Oh.
I've heard it is better than Robert Redford.
I love
It's
it.
got a lot of names.
Do you do the, so I've had a couple of different kinds. Do you do the one that's more whipped cream or more the cake?
We're talking
I've
about
had
cake,
like
right?
2 different kinds. I've had whipped cream type.
No, this meeting switched into a
My
non.
tender
TV
ears.
today.
No, you're good. I was like the.
That's funny. Making the owl blush.
I don't think anyone else.
So wait,
So now you get to start number 2 then.
so it's Maisie, Noah, and what's your name?
Corbin.
Corbin? Okay.
You get to start with whoever you want to ask question number 2.
Noah,
He's like, I knew this was coming.
which of your senses do you value the most? Which of your senses do you value the most?
What does senses mean?
Like your
Sight?
eyes.
Oh, my
Your
eyes?
sight,
Hearing.
smell,
What I like?
Yeah, like-
Oh,
touch.
Taste, eyes.
oh,
Sixth Sense movie.
sense of
Yeah.
balance. I don't know. My eyes.
Why?
important not being blind.
Don't help them.
So I can see everything that's going on.
Yeah, like what?
It's like, I do not accept that answer.
Now this turned into a counseling session.
Like, new people, I don't know, like, just seeing what's going on with the world. How crazy it's gone. I don't know.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Okay.
How many of you guys had COVID and lost your sight, your scent and taste? That was a weird thing.
That was.
I had it last Thanksgiving. It was a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know I worked so hard
That
and
was a
then
weird
couldn't.
thing. I don't
It
get
tasted
that.
like bland mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I was eating a popsicle. I'm like, what the crap? Uh-oh. I mean, not to hijack your, but like, I think if you lost your sense of smell for good, that would suck. Smell is one of the most powerful senses that you have.
Hey,
I'd rather
I knew a
smell.
guy, I knew two people
Yeah.
that didn't have a sense of smell, and it was a superpower for them.
Really?
Well, think about it. How many, they could, it's like, oh, this stinks, why don't you have him go do it?
Oh, man.
So they got to go do the bad cleanups because they couldn't smell it.
Yeah, but if you lose one of your senses, your other ones kick in, and that's your superpower, is that, you know, one of the other senses comes into play.
Well, no, the
Sense of
superpower was
gag
the fact that,
reflex.
he wasn't taken out by the smell.
That's good.
Man,
Horse
Well,
manure.
I've always heard that the sense of smell is actually what's most tied to memories. Like,
it is.
so if you lose that, it
100%.
probably, I would bet it affects how you
Yeah.
retain.
The sight would be, yeah, I'm with you on that one. No, don't want to lose my sight.
No.
We accept your answer. Okay, here we go.
Fair enough. Hmm. This is hard.
You got a good question there, you can tell. It's really-
Corbin. Describe your childhood in 3 words.
No.
Can you tell why these are number 2s?
Yeah.
Well, first, be happy, dysfunctional, interesting.
I think a lot of us could use those words in our childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially dysfunctional.
How many of you guys in here would say that you had a dysfunctional childhood? Like it was dysfunctional, like there was just some stuff that wasn't quite kosher, yeah. All those cool kids, what's wrong with the rest of you people? Normal parents, the heck?
Well-adjusted families.
Well-adjusted families, we scoff you. Sounds good.
I accept.
That's good.
All right. What's your name?
Calais.
All right. Say something about resentment.
Chica, so
Oh, man.
resentment.
From my experience, when I hold resentment, I can tell that I start getting sick physically, emotionally, mentally. Coming back from having someone resentful towards me, I think has been one of the hardest things to overcome, for sure. Because with resentment, there comes mistrust and all of that stuff. So it's hard to not be resentful when you're hurt, but it's hard to overcome being resentful. I hate the feeling of being resentful. It makes me sick.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah. So
I accept.
that's a good question. Tina, tell me about a time when you felt successful.
I would say last year when I got out of jail, I was in a relapse mode, and I put myself into treatment. without having to be court ordered. Felt really successful by doing that.
Awesome. Good for you.
You accept?
Thanks, Seth.
Let's see. Okay. Complete the sentence. The loneliest time for me is. Good one.
That's something I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get between being alone and lonely and finding out the differences.
What are you noticing?
Like on the weekends, my ex finally has a stable place, and so he started to take the kids again on the weekends.
Mm.
And last weekend it was like, felt good, because I can get up and I can do whatever the hell I want and listen to music really loud, and then at night, I'm like, okay, kind of lonely now. It's not as fun.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to get to know myself more. So I have a really good friend who's a therapist. She has a therapy thing. And she pointed out, she says, you're busy all the time. I said, I know, I'm really busy. She says, yeah, but you're busy all the time, like from sun up to sundown. You don't have time to sit in your emotions, so what are you trying to hide? I was like, shut up.
Good friend.
Stop therapizing me. So yeah. So during the day, I'm not lonely, but at night, I get lonely. And that's okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Do you accept that answer,
I
Melvin?
do.
Come on. She's like, I'm driving you home, you better.
All right. 1, 2. What's your name again?
Justin.
Hi, Justin.
Hi.
Talk about the importance of a religious faith in your life.
School.
Let's move that to Earl.
Okay, I got her.
I don't really go to church, so I would have to say my religion would probably be
Or spirituality.
when I get out in the hills.
Mountain church.
That's kind of like what I like to do for my church. So I haven't been doing much of it lately, but
Nice.
I've done quite a bit of running and stuff up in the hills. So yeah,
I accept it.
cool. All right, this one's for you. Tell about a time when you felt awkward.
Right now?
Kenny's filling it for you.
Just every question I play through my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about that one.
She's like, I gotta present myself here every once in a while.
Oh my heck.
I found whatever pops into your head is your higher power saying.
It's that one.
That is the truth.
Just say it.
Yep.
100% true.
There, process that would be good. Can we come back? I have no
We
idea.
do not accept that answer.
don't know. I'm not sharing that one.
So what you're saying is you have felt awkward before.
Oh, yeah.
How
That
about I
one-
know? How did you
I feel
overcome
awkward because I can't answer it. What's that?
it? How'd you overcome it?
Oh, okay, so the recent one that keeps popping in my head that I don't want to talk about. I talked about it.
There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty extreme, and yeah.
Who did you
So I
talk
talked
about it with?
I talked about it this morning with these two. And then several other people in my life that I'm close to. God. Yeah,
Excellent.
talk it out. Talk it out. Do you accept my
I
answer?
accept
My
it.
gosh, I'm sorry, that was so lame.
Wait,
Okay.
why would you think that was lame?
I don't know, I felt like, because
You don't need to tell us the gritty
when
details.
he first asked it, I thought, oh yeah, I've got plenty of these, and then I couldn't think of
Mhm.
anything. So, except for that one thing, so I won't share the details of it, but yeah, it just happened last week, so. Like, fish out of water was not fun.
Good times.
Yeah.
You'll laugh about it one time.
Yeah.
Years down the line.
Yeah. Krista, how do you want to spend the last year of your life?
Skydiving.
For a whole year.
12 seconds all year long, baby, every day. Skydiving was awesome. I definitely want to do that again. Last year of my life, honestly, just with my family, my friends. I just want to, feel their love and make sure they all know that I love them. Yeah, just with my family. Just want my family around. And my second family, if you're still around me at that time.
Why wouldn't we be?
You never know what could happen.
She's gonna outlive us, that's why.
Do you accept my answer?
Yes, I do.
Okay. This is for Steve. And I have a feeling you're not gonna like me.
It's not your fault, it's the end game.
Describe divorce in 3 words.
Divorce? In 3 words.
Only 3 words.
Sucks. Hell. And I wish I'd never had done it. That's not a word.
That's a Joe Biden answer.
You wish.
Regret.
Yeah. I wish I divorced my former spouse because I loved her. I agreed to it because I loved her. So.
That makes sense.
But it sucks. It's hell.
I agree with that.
Just not so much for her, but just what it's done for the family and the kids, but the family unit. It's just hell. Hate it.
I accept that.
Whew, good. That was an easy one. That one I know.
Mine would be fuck that bitch.
Everyone got their own words. I accept that answer.
Brad, tell about the most significant. Tell about the most significant person in your life.
Oh. Probably, I wouldn't say it's one person. My family's pretty supportive of me. I'm pretty blessed with that. They, for all the shit I put them through, they were pretty forgiving of me, and even when I still screw up, they still are very accepting and forgiving of me. Probably number one out of my family unit is probably my mom. Like, she's not only given me multiple, opportunities at life, because she was my first one that donated a kidney to me when I was like 17. Unfortunately, that one didn't last very long, but she's always very diligent about my health, you know. Even though I don't really need her there, she always wants to be a part of it, you know. And so I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see. Earl, have you gone?
Nope.
All right. Talk about a joyful time in your life.
Joyful time. I'm thinking because there's many, not that I don't have any, but what should I do? Honestly, I think the birth of my grandchild is probably the most recent, the most, you know, something that those of you who are grandparents understand. Like it is life-changing, I think. Obviously I didn't want my daughter because she was fairly young when she got pregnant, so that was hard, but like the day the baby came, it was like it didn't matter. All that mattered was that little kid. So she's a bundle of joy. Like we love having her around. She's always she's smart. I mean, like her mom was smart. Her mom was, I always call her the dumbest smart kid I know because she's like math genius. She's a nurse at very young. She got through college with a baby, like all of this stuff. But then like you ask her a simple question and she'll sort of just stare at you and go, what? You know, so she's our dumbest smart kid, but she's a brilliant little kid. I mean, she'll at 4 years old, she's already, you know, what's 4 + 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And she just she taught herself to count. Like it wasn't something her mom taught her. She just did it one day, and you know, so it's just fun. There's never a dull moment with her.
She knows all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, she knows dinosaurs by name, like not just T-Rex and Triceratops, but ones I've never heard of. She'll spout them out. It's crazy, but she actually gets tired of me. I think I was down there for Thanksgiving, and I think it was like Friday after I'd been there for almost a week. It was like 8 o'clock, and she's like, "Mom, I'm tired. I want to go home." I'm like, "You're never tired at 8 o'clock." You're just tired of playing with Grandpa. But that was like just everything about it has been just joy. So, do you accept? What? Kenny and
Okay,
you and you.
Whole
I'll go with Kenny because he's been eyeballing my question.
I have no idea what it is.
What would be the most difficult news for you to accept about someone in your family?
That's a tough one.
My family's been through a lot, so it like the most difficult thing for me, one thing I've been very fortunate in my life that I've never really lost anyone super close to me, so like I've never had to deal with, like I've lost like aunts and uncles and some that were pretty hard, but you know, I got both, like all my parents, all my siblings, there's a lot of us, you know, and just, you know, I got my wife and kids, but if I don't know how I'm gonna process when somebody really close to me passes, and that would be the most difficult, I think, but we've been through a lot of other, I mean, many other things, and I'm sure one of my siblings has been through it, but like a lot of addiction in our family, you know, we've been through a lot of that together, but we're all still around, and so I think losing one of them would be extremely difficult. Who else left?
KP, Lou.
This whole awesome line here.
All right, Blue, I'll ask you.
Well, in fact, I've already gone.
It's a good one.
Oh, great.
No, it's not a good one. Share a child's experience with death.
Death?
Yes.
Child experience.
That is childhood, right?
Man. Are you sure that's a number 2 question?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Number 3.
Let me think. The first, I think the first time I kind of understood what death was my grandfather, Austin McEwen. It was kind of a funny thing, because my mom got married when she was 14, and so, like, she was a kid having kids. And so we didn't really, we were raised by someone that just didn't have the emotional capacity to like, deal with that kind of stuff. And so didn't even know that he was sick, and then one day he was gone. And this was like a guy that, like, the only granddad I had was him. It was kind of one of these things where, like, you know, he just accepted us as kids. I remember being super little, but like once he was gone, it was like there was no cohesion in the family. Like you could tell like there was something that was missing there. And I kind of just never really understood it, you know. And people always say, "Oh, you know, you lost this person, lost that person." But even the death of my mother just a couple months ago, it didn't affect me like at all. I had a harder time dealing with the death of my pug a couple weeks ago than I did my own mom. I'm thinking, is that a bad thing? But it's not, because her and I, like, this might sound weird, but like, she died a long time ago in my life, if that makes sense. So here I am, like, burying this goofy little dog, and I'm like, trying to keep it together, which is kind of weird. Don't bury your dogs in your yard, it's weird, because you're like, it's right there, you know, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that. But I just don't think, you know, I don't think that we're lost when people say, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. I don't think we're lost. I think that energy goes somewhere. And so I kind of always felt that too with my grandpa. But that was my first running with death, but death's been a really interesting thing. No, God, it's weird. I don't want to sound like I'm a cold, callous person, but zero emotion when my mom passed. Her and I we just didn't have it. It was a weird thing. I hope my pug bites her in the ankle while she's up there. No, I don't really keep you. Do you accept my answer so I can move
I
on?
don't think we should accept that. Find some other answer.
I'll walk right past her. Anywho, all right, KP. Number 2. I have 2 number 2s. Tell about a mistake you have made recently. Let's hear about these screw-ups.
So, this is just a stupid, dumb thing where every week I transfer somebody over to my wife. And she came up to me, I think it was Sunday, I do it on Mondays. And she came up to me on Sunday and she goes, when are you gonna transfer the money over? I'm like, I did. It's $125, right? I said, I did. And she goes, I never saw it. And I go, I know I did it. Pull up the bank app. And I transferred her $1.25.
She's like, okay, yes.
And so she goes, I know, here, I'll take care of it. But in my mind, it was done. It was, it was like done. I moved on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I would make that same mistake, I guarantee you.
But did you transfer 123.75?
No, I transferred 125. Good question. Well, see, because it's easier to transfer 125 than to do the math to figure out.
Good question.
All right.
I accept that answer.
Okay. So who's left? Okay. I want to say something here before I do this. This
He's gonna like, you're gonna do like a disclaimer?
I really do. This one is deep. It is tough, and it can be very triggering. And I was honestly thinking about who do I call on this? And everybody kind of went. I was like, I'm just going to let this see where fate drives us to. So,
what question is this?
It comes down to 2 people. Who wants to take on a really tough one? Okay,
amazing.
Say something about suicide.
Oh, wow.
Good thing I didn't get this.
Good thing I didn't hear.
One of my best friends actually committed suicide at 17. So the one thing I have to say about it is, I guess that there's always tomorrow. Like, there's nothing too big that you can't take on, and that you always have support even when you feel like you don't. Because I've even felt that way more often than not. And you just don't feel like you have a ton of support or anyone to call, but there's always someone.
Wow.
I love that.
17. How did you find out? Like that's a heavy thing for a teenager to have to wrap their heads around.
Yeah, I was 15.
You were 15.
Yeah, and I had an open casket.
Oh.
Pretty traumatizing.
We're coming up on a year of one of our athletes that passed away suicide, and that was That was rough. I'm with you on that. Like, there's always a tomorrow. We talk about this sometimes a lot. I remember when I was serving as a bishop, just funny in and of itself. But I had a kid come in and ask me that question, like, do people that commit suicide go to hell? I'm like, no, not even close. You know, anyone that believes that needs a smack upside the head, because that is the God that I believe in understands the pain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's a hard one. KP, I can see why that would have been hard.
But you know what?
I think we've all been touched by that some way, shape, or form, have we not?
I do want to say though,
Mhm.
I left it in fate's hands. That was a very good answer.
Mhm.
It worked out. Very nice.
So I'm thinking you accept that answer.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, and I was the first one to go that read mine.
So wait, Noah hasn't, so yeah, you can ask Noah.
I already asked.
Yeah, sure. You can answer your second one.
Started with the.
Yeah, I started with no.
All right, Noah,
Did we all go?
this is actually kind of interesting. Noah, if you had $100, what would you do with it?
Honestly, what would you do with it?
I already know what you're thinking.
Why'd you pass that? $100.
If you had just $100 bill, what would you do with it?
Get a tattoo, duh.
Would that cover your tattoo? I don't know.
No,
It would cover it.
$100.
He's like, I know.
At this point, you could get 1 gallon of gas.
$100. Oh, God. Take the $100 and use it as gas money to go see my grandpa up in Idaho who's buried up there.
What were you thinking he would do with it?
Oh, I know plenty of things. I remember me and him had $100.
No, when's the last time you had $100 bill, man? Is that been a minute or something?
3 days ago,
What'd you do with it?
I spent it.
On?
About to say.
No,
Okay.
but I won't accept that answer.
You wanna say?
Legit, if you had $100, you'd drive up to see your grandpa.
Yeah.
How would we know that you did it?
I would,
What about you?
I would take, I could go see my mom with no
Well,
money.
$100 still.
So you would, how would everyone here know that you did it though?
I'd take a picture.
Do you believe him?
I believe it. I would take a picture.
So if I gave you $100, you would take off and go see your grandpa.
Yeah, so it would drive me.
So now you're gonna have someone drive you.
You wanna drive me?
Sure.
Okay.
So if we gave you $100, that's what you would do. Why? Why that?
Because, the reason I wanna go see him is to apologize to him
For what?
for the mistakes
No.
I've made. And just to go see him, because he was like my dad. Because my dad wasn't there ever. And he's like, he was my dad, he taught me everything. Taught me how to do everything in the yard, carnival. He brought me to the carnival, had me work at 8 years old.
This your mom's dad? Oh,
So Kevin this year.
yeah.
I
When I met you, I think I remember your mom introducing him. And he told me to make sure I'm hard on her. That's what he said. Sound like him?
He is.
Well, those are, can I share that?
Sure. Well,
Your mom?
yeah, he can.
No, mom was one of our athletes. Passed away many years ago? How many years is it?
8 years now.
8 years? Yeah, she's athletes that passed away. And when I bumped into, like, holy crap, the last time I saw him, he was just a little guy. And so when she passed, it did Grandpa kind of take you under his wing? Is that what happened? Where did you go?
My grandpa passed away before my mom.
Did he?
My grandma took me
Where did she live? In Idaho alone?
in Pleasant Grove.
Okay. So if I give you this, you're gonna go say hi.
I really would. I would love to do that.
Money well spent in my book, then, right?
Thank you. Can I give you a hug?
Absolutely, I would appreciate it. I'm proud of you. It's a big deal. I want to see a picture though.
You will.
Another way to touch you.
Accountability.
Hmm?
Accountability.
So it's funny, that was given to me. I'm like, I don't need this. And I got thinking, I wonder who needs this. And I wasn't even thinking about it until just this very end. But it felt like that's where it needs to be. No one's gonna know if you do that or not unless you take a picture. You know?
Make sure he takes accountability.
Yeah, but one of these things.
My girlfriend drive me up
There you go, man. Road trip.
Road trip.
Jen's got some playlist for you.
Just a little bit, no pressure.
Sing songs, fast.
What was easy or hard about this? Because these are canned questions. One of the things I want this team to be able to do is just to be able to open the share. And it sounds like there are some situations where that happens. Each one of us should be able to lean on each other for support. You know, no matter when, where, how, or why. Like we're all there. And I'm pretty sure that anyone on this team in Owl Land or whatever, we're all available for that kind of stuff. None of us have that kind of schedule by which we can't slow down and just be there for somebody. That's why I love this team so much. This is kind of scratching the surface, but I would highly recommend that as we move forward, that we just be a little bit more mindful about one another. You know, we get into some pretty heavy stuff. We're talking suicide. We're talking like resentments and stuff. That's some pretty heavy stuff. And we sometimes get so caught up in like all the inspirational things that we forget that there's stuff we're all dealing with every day. Even me, which is kind of a cool thing that none of us are doing this alone. So before we wrap this up, any thoughts on this kind of stuff? Was it awkward? Did it feel weird? Were you nervous? You're like, what the crap is this? I'm just here to hang out.
Wasn't nervous at all.
I'm like, I forgot we were being recorded until just now.
It's like Ollie's just part of the group. Yeah.
I think this, in my opinion, it should be more frequent. Like, I don't, like, obviously, weekly, it's good to get out of the headspace and have lessons and discussions and various things, but I think it's something that we should look at doing just monthly, quarterly, whatever, because I think there's a lot of people who don't feel comfortable opening up. Not necessarily just to certain people, but just at all, right? I mean, look at any man. I think we've gone over this many times, like, a lot of men don't like opening up, especially if it's emotional. It's tough, like, just being vulnerable like that, but I think that this gives that opportunity, even if it's without the game, just, because like some of the questions, I was like, man, I wish I had that one, because I have way better answers than some of the stuff. But I think it was fun. It was enlightening, and it was nice to get to know people at a bit of a deeper level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and knowing you guys, you might be young, but you guys got strong hearts, man. And that's what's kind of cool. I love it when guys your age will come in and just be real, because it's so easy to hide, And like you said, you've been doing this for how many months though? You're like, I just got out of treatment, so you're like, this is second shoe to you, yeah. But I love this because really at this, we're all on the same playing field. All of us are kind of equal, and that's what I really love. And don't get me wrong, we've done this quite a bit in the olden days. Like I said, we did this a lot until we moved to UVU because the seating was a teaching thing. But I was thinking the other day, I'm like, we've got to get back to some of the stuff that makes this tick. And the beauty of it is that, with the therapeutic background, if we ever get into a weird spot, I can get us out pretty fast. But we may not ever have to do that. Does that make sense? Like, being real doesn't mean you need a therapist at the helm. It just means that you're open to like sharing, Because I know that there was school. I want to know why you didn't like school, man. I want to know all these kind of things. But I think that this kind of stuff is really what makes a team even stronger. And we're all going to have embarrassing moments. I was thinking like, oh man, I'm glad I didn't get that one, because the first thing that popped into my head was pretty embarrassing. When Noah was talking about, eyesight and stuff, I'm like, I'm freaking colorblind. My name's Blue. Like, how stupid is that? I'm like, I don't even know what half this stuff is. So that's why you always see me wearing this crap. And I'm like, blue, green, see this? Yeah, blue, green, colorblind. Can't see my color of my own name. So, yeah, and that was an embarrassing moment because,
So we call you green
dude,
now?
I'm telling you, man, and I hate that game. Like, what color is this? Like, that's why I don't tell anybody.
Call you purple.
But like, embarrassing moments, dressing like an idiot and not knowing why. Like, no one told me. I'm like, what the freak, man? What kind of parents did I have? You let me walk out of the house looking like that? So this is the kind of stuff that I really think, and because there's some deeper stuff I think we need to tackle, just the insecurities and like fears and anxieties and stuff. And if we don't talk about it, we'll suppress it. And if we suppress it, what happens?
I'm out.
It comes out somewhere, absolutely. So, whatever experience you have, I'd love to hear about it when you get back, brother. I'd love to hear kind of like what you experienced. Maybe like, well, we hit 2 deer and I got to think about it. I don't know what it is. Don't do that, but
Don't hit the
yeah,
ancestors.
don't hit the deer. Swerve. Yeah.
Well, I know when I go up there, I'm gonna cry. But I also do want to say something. I want to say thank you for knowing my mom and trying to help her. And even though she did pass away, it means a lot that you guys were here for her, and especially Jen.
Your mom had a huge heart. She, Judy, the one that we're doing this run for, when your mom found out what happened to Judy when she lost her son, she made all these little armbands and stuff. I still have one that your mom made. They did not give it to you because it's one of these things that showed how much compassion she had. So we remember her. Her name's in a lot of our stuff. So I'll get you that bib number for you too. It'd be awesome. Athletes, who am I?
I'm a champion.
Yes, you are. Are we working out? I don't know what we're doing. Kid didn't say anything. Katie's gonna do some jumping jacks. What are we doing?
I don't know who has to work.
Awesome. You can put your cards back in there.
I actually am the one doing the workout.